printed out our design that we created, and what we want to do is draw a grid on it. This is going to help make the transferring easier. So I'm just going to draw a line right down the middle, and the way I'm going to do that is by measuring across here. Halfway is 3.5, which is like here.
Yeah, because the whole design's about 7 inches there.
And then this way, about 3.5, like here. So that's kind of the halfway point. So I'm going to draw a line through the center point this way.
This isn't a precision grid that we're drawing on here. It's just a helpful grid. So this halfway is just a benchmark, easy way to do it.
So now we've got kind of a crisscross there, and now we want to find halfway between the edge of our tabletop or our design in the middle. So to do that, we've already figured out here that this is 3.5.
Yeah.
So we're going to go over, well, actually I'll do it right there in the middle.
Yeah. So it's about 1
3/4.
3/4, yeah.
About there.
And the same for the other side.
Other side.
So she's measuring from the outside in 1 3/4. Just to divide that section in half again.
And you know, it doesn't need to be crazy. We don't need to be.
You don't need a right angle. Yeah, no, they don't have. It's not a precision grid.
So here we go for there, and then we're going to do the same to create 2 more lines halfway.
Yeah.
On this part.
You'll draw 3 lines vertically and 3 lines horizontally, and you'll wind up with a grid that's 4 by 4.
And then the reason why we're doing that is we're creating these little squares that we're going to recreate over here on our big tabletop.
I'm going to draw the same grid. I'm not going to draw it with squares this small. I'm going to do it the same halfway. So I'm going to find the halfway point for my tabletop. It's 17 and 3/4. So halfway is 8 7/8. It's about here.
There-ish, which is
there-ish. And this way, it is 8 7/8 again. So counting in 8 7/8 is up to about here.
Yeah.
So this is about the center point for the table. And I'm going to just draw a line here. And that's why we need a yardstick, even though Jennifer used a ruler for hers.
I cheated and used a ruler for the small one just because it's...
And that's about kind of quarters, close enough.
Close, it's fine.
And then for the halfway point on this side, I need the other side of that. This was 8 7/8, so our halfway is about 4 3/8. So that's about here. And I'm going to do it on all of these, 4 3/8.
This is a genius trick. This is a great way of learning how to enlarge anything. You can use the same technique to enlarge.
It's very Leonardo da Vinci or something, you know?
Yeah. It's old school.
It's old school. Now I'm going to draw my lines. So I'm trying to make it perpendicular here. And here.
Terrific.
And then here. And here.
Great. So now we've got the same grid, slightly larger over here.
So this square corresponds to this one to that one to that one, and so on. So then to transfer this image over to this grid, I'm just going to do it grid by grid. I look at this upper left one. It has a little white line that starts about 3/4 or 2/3 of the way over, and then it goes to about here. And this is why we're doing it with chalk too, because we can do it loosely. And that's also the only line that's in that one.
Keep in mind that what this grid is helping us do is she's using this line to say, oh, that line starts about this far. It starts there,
yeah.
So it's a way of sort of eyeballing it.
And then that line continues over to a little bit above that crisscross. Here's that crisscross. This line goes to about here. Right?
See?
Does that seem right?
It's pretty easy. Yeah.
And then this line starts here and goes up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. There's a little bit
and
of
it
a
comes
gap.
right back.
Yep.
That's that one. There's a little bit of a line here.
Yep.
And then I need this one. And this one starts just about off. And it intersects this line about 2/3 of the way down.
Yes.
So about here. So this is just, we're going to rough it in like this. This one I would start here with that intersection.
You can see where that continues right there.
And it joins up, that's about 2/3 of the way
About
here.
2/3.
Maybe right about there. And then this one goes out to the edge here.
And it comes
right
almost,
to a point.
Yeah, to a point.
That's where we have almost a complete flower petal. There. And then we go a little bit to the right of that, and we join just a little bit above our grid here. See how we're getting our design on there? I'm missing that little part right there, and it's the continuation of both those lines.
Well, and you'll see that too once you get everything kind of chalked in.
Things will start matching up.
Right, and you'll see where you're missing
Yeah.
a little piece of one of the petals.
Now this one goes from here to the edge, and has a piece coming up just about halfway.
Well, about halfway.
And then it crisscrosses there. That looks right. So now the
Yeah.
top part of our design is done.
So now we're just going to continue drawing in each square one by one, checking to see where the lines are crossing our grid that we created. We've got our entire design drawn out now on our tabletop, and we're going to remove the lines from the grid just using a paper towel and a little bit of water. And that's going to really let you see the design without the extra lines.
So we're just going to pick up those chalk lines.
It's pretty quick and easy.
And it's just a damp paper towel. If it leaves a little bit of paper towel behind, it'll dry and you can just brush that off. It's no big deal.
This will definitely help us see, otherwise there are a lot of extra lines and it can be a little bit confusing.
A little confusing, yeah, because we're not using those extra, we're not using the straight lines as part of the design.
Right, it's just these petals.
Just the petal lines.
And you can also erase any marks that you made that you ended up changing. With the extra lines gone, you can see that our design is really starting to emerge.